Morning, afternoon, or evening. It looks like you are opting to watch a video that comes in more than one part, probably because it was lengthy and we like to keep them kind of short so people don't have to sit too long. So this could be a two-parter, three-parter, or four-parter. I don't know which one you're looking at, but just wanted to let you know if you are on, say, part one and it has a part two, that part originally will come out on a date separate than part one. So just keep a lookout for the same title name where it says part two, part three, or part four, and you should find your way accordingly. I hope you enjoy and I hope it helps clear up some sort of concept that someone was asking about. I'll see you later. Bye-bye now. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. There was a request by somebody if I could do some sort of video explanation on filling out the function report, the SSA 3373, for someone who is a mental health disability claim, because a lot of people with severe depression or anxiety find a lot of, that's what they call them, therapy animals, right? A lot of solace. And let's face it, throwing down some food every day for the dog or letting him out the back door is not the same amount of energy that would be indicative of caring for children full time or anything like that. Now, if you do go for 2 mile walks with the dog twice a day, you're going to look like you're pretty much able to rise and shine. Now, if it's an anxiety thing, not necessarily. So it really all depends. If you have a pet and you do, you have to say yes that you do because you feed it. And then you describe what you do. I feed him once a day, I let him out in the backyard, or I walk him when able. Because again, if you're bedridden for an entire day, that's probably not the day you take him for the walk, right? You probably let him out the back door. Just saying. Number 9, does anyone help you care for other people or animals? If you live alone, you're going to have a hard time probably honestly saying yes to this. You're probably going to have to say no. But if you do live with family, it is very common for other family members to be stepping in and doing the more vigorous things. It might be that you feed them on occasion, not maybe as reliably as you would like to suggest you do, and that it's them actually making sure it was done. Did you feed the dog? All right, he didn't feed it, I'll feed it, that kind of thing. So just remember to explain in number 9 what everyone else does to help take care of those pets. 10, what were you able to do before your illnesses, injuries, or conditions that you can't do now? This is obviously going to depend on what your life was like before. If it has to do with having energy, working full time, being happy, being able to enjoy people, that kind of thing, not being paranoid. Let's say you feel like you got a little paranoia. You could focus on the mental part because like we were saying before, this is not really in the person we're talking about. We're not talking about the physical aspects. Now, if you did have some physical things, but the big thing you feel about is mental, you definitely want to hone in on the mental. Don't leave out the physical, and you're going to have to try to get them both in here and fit it in the space. There are ways to do that. We've completely mastered that. Sleep, obviously, anxiety and depression often greatly impacts sleep. Physical stuff does too. I mean, pain. I mean, sleep is such a priceless commodity that we just often don't have enough of because of these impairments, right? But if you have anxiety, why would that suddenly not affect you at night? I mean, I realize you probably take a sleeping medication. I will tell you this, if the sleeping medication suffices and you sleep great, well then that's not gonna be where sleep or poor sleep is going to help your case, because you just said I could sleep like a charm. Of course, you might feel groggy in the morning, and you probably want to represent that up in number 6 and possibly number 5, because if you're super groggy in the morning, it's going to be really hard to get to work. Some might say, well, get up an hour earlier so you're groggier early and you can still get to work on time. I'd be the person that would say that, actually. But nonetheless, it does mean that you have to use more of your spare time to get ready for work because you got to get over the grog and then get yourself out the door. Personal care. Now, you don't have physical problems, you have mental. So why should any of this be a problem? Well, it is oftentimes because people don't care to do these things. So if we don't have a will, then we are impeded from doing these things that are kind of centered on being a sustaining, able person. So dressing, for instance, a lot of times, and so just you have to judge whether this is true for you. Sometimes people don't change their clothes for a week. They just don't care. That's what the depression can do. Anxiety, maybe less so. Um, yeah, I mean, I see it all the time. Bathing, definitely the same idea. Um, don't care to bathe as much as I used to. You could say I'll shower once a week or twice a week or whatever, once every 2 weeks, whatever the case may be. Caring for hair, I don't care for it. If I'm a female, I might throw it in a ponytail. If I'm a man, I just kind of let it roll. Depends what you do. Um, again, that would probably be more the depression thing. So someone who has strictly anxiety, they might still do all these things. You understand? Shaving, same idea. That's about looking dapper. Feeding oneself, that's about actual ability to, use a fork, use a spoon. But you could add something in here if there's something different, like not motivated to take the time to heat up the leftovers or the canned soup. I often just eat chips. That's how unmotivated I am. And my appetite, it could be one's appetite is diminished. Or some people eat the day away. So using the toilet, if you have, I know sometimes anxiety brings about its own difficulties. It could be IBS type of things. It could be diarrhea, it could be constipation. Those really do make using the toilet more challenging. It might be more frequent, more time in the toilet. It could cause stomach pains and other pains in the associated areas. So you could throw them in there. Might not change exactly the fact that you could sit on the toilet and get up from the toilet, which, by the way, is something that is very different a lot of time when there's physical impairments, like my back people. They all are like, oh, I get up and down really carefully. Or they even have a bar there now, or they've got a higher toilet now, so they don't have to risk the drop down by sitting and the difficulty getting back up without assistance from the sitting position. And other, that would be anything else you can think of. That part is over. If you're looking for the following part, if there is one, or a preceding part to the same video that was longer, just look under the channel for the same title video. They are named the same and they just have part one, part two, part three, or whatever part it is. So feel free to take a look, see, and complete the video. Take care.